So instead of having the adult conversation and saying, I'm sorry, I can't deal with this anymore. I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Right.
And you do you, and I'm moving on with my life. Instead, I just stopped answering the phone. Everyone, and welcome to Life with a Cheri on Top. I am your host, Cheri Hagan. Today, I am joined again by my husband, Kevin. Oh my God, that's twice.
Wow.
Twice in a week I have said Kevin.
Did I change my name to Kevin?
I don't know what's happening. Apparently,
there was another
I don't know.
little...
Apparently, I cannot speak any longer.
I've got an idea.
Let me enunciate.
Because we have been having some cocktails today.
Yes.
Just maybe, I don't know.
You think that's
Kevin, you guys are cocktails.
Kevin Hagan. It's Kevin Hagan.
It is? Thank
just
you.
for the record.
Yes.
Yes. You're welcome. Okay, listen. First, I want to talk about Rib Fest. So, congratulations on getting us through.
Jesus H. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for getting us through into the Rib Fest. I very much appreciate it.
Likewise. Listen, this is not a one-way thing. And
I know it's not.
We are such a great fucking team.
We are.
It's amazing. I really look back on some of this stuff. It's like 30-something people came in and out.
Yeah.
Happy as can be. Ribs were great. Food was out. Booze was out. I mean, it's like that's a big deal.
I know.
Two people typically don't pull this shit off.
But we do.
We do. We always do.
And the best part was everybody was so cooperative so the weather was kind of iffy. And so it was a whole thing between Kevin and I, whether it was going to be in the garage or in the backyard. I won that argument, but it was a compromise because...
It's a perfect compromise.
It was. The compromise was, fine, we'll have it in the backyard, but we have to cook earlier. Which, okay,
well, no,
that was fine.
I'm going to add to that.
Go ahead.
So initially, we were going to set up a tent.
I know.
We were going to put all the food down, so it's downstairs.
So nobody had to go up the stairs.
Go up the stairs to get anything.
Right.
And Mike, we need to be prepared to run for the hills
in case it rains.
At any point in time.
Yeah.
And typically, the radar and everybody was saying this certain time, and so I gave myself a half an hour cushion. And said, we need to be out of here at 7:30.
Yeah.
And everybody needs to be fed.
Before then. Yeah.
But
understood.
No tent. Put the food upstairs in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So if you need to run, grab your plate and run.
Right.
It's not like, we need anything else to be, all the food needs to come in and everything needs to go back up.
Yeah. Nearly everybody was fed at that point, except the latecomers, which there was still plenty of food for them.
Oh, yep.
And then I felt 4 raindrops, and it was like 8, maybe 8 o'clock. Yeah. I don't know what time it was. I felt 4 raindrops.
It was right around 8 because everybody said storms were hitting at 8 o'clock.
Well, Again,
I was watching everything.
I don't trust.
So stupid.
I don't trust the weather people because they're not that accurate. But at some certain point in the night, the raindrops started falling. I mean, it was like sprinkles, not a downpour by any stretch of the imagination.
You have 4 drops on your head and we're done.
Yeah. I stood up and I said, okay, everybody, it's starting to rain. We need to move in. And every single person stood up and helped. They were like, okay, what can we do?
Grabbed a chair,
grabbed snacks, tables, grabbed food, grabbed drinks, grabbed everything and moved it inside. And by the way, it didn't, I think those were the only 4 raindrops for another 2 hours. But the fact of the matter remains, it did actually rain a lot later.
Yes. But later than expected.
Yeah.
However.
Yes.
There's 2 things, and I don't mean to say this the wrong way, but everybody helped us clean up instead of just us cleaning up.
Yes.
And it was 10 minutes.
It was fantastic.
15 minutes, everything was in the garage.
Yeah. I know. It was amazing. Thank you, everybody.
Yes. No, listen, it's a huge, as I said, team effort
Yeah.
us, but a team effort for everybody also jumped in and cleaned stuff up quickly and got stuff out of the way fast so we could come back into our basement and our bar down here and just relax. And
What was your second point? You said there were two things.
I don't know.
I knew it. He's so bad at
remember.
that. He will go off on a thing and I will watch the whole idea of his second thought like it bursts into a bubble above his head. I knew you weren't going to remember, but you did say two things. Okay.
Damn.
So I really wanted to just thank you for getting us through another Rib Fest. And now I want to move on. It was amazing, by the way. It was a great time. Everybody had a great time.
We need to sell these ribs because they were freaking fantastic.
They were. I know. We actually had people, specifically two people that were like, oh my God, you guys need to bottle this. Like, it's so good. We're not going to do that, by the way. But it was a very nice compliment. So let's get off a Rib Fest for a moment because I want to talk about something else.
All right.
I want to talk about, and I don't know that, in fact, I'm almost sure that you've never had to do this, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. Because it's a topic I've wanted to discuss, and the person that I've wanted to discuss it with keeps hemming and hawing about it, and so I just want to get it out there and be done with it.
Okay.
Don't be nervous. It's
I'm
fine.
a little nervous.
No,
I'm
don't
always
be
a little
nervous.
nervous when you bring up a new topic.
So I don't know if you've ever had to experience this, but I know I have. Have you, in your lifetime, actually, it's going to be a general question at first, because I think the answer is going to be no.
Jesus,
On
just
your
get to
end.
it. You're killing me. I'm on the seat of my pants.
I'm sorry. Okay. Have you ever had to break up with anybody in your life?
Well, yeah.
Oh, you have? Okay. So specifically, have you ever had to end a friendship? Because that's more specifically what I'm talking about. Have you had to end a friendship, or did you just end a friendship and not explain to that person why the friendship is ending?
Oh, boy. Here we go. This one's going to turn into a whole...
Shit show.
Yeah. So guys do two things.
Oh, my God. I know it's totally different.
You punch each other in the head and you become friends, or you walk away. And it's just left like that, right? It's just
I do
kind
know
of,
that.
It's not, and it's not that simple, but it is kind of that simple sometimes. So I don't remember ever telling somebody or a friend of mine going, "I am no longer your friend. Please move on."
Yeah, well, that's why I'm asking.
No, never. I would just, if I wanted to move on, I'm sure it was mutual and we moved on. If you didn't want to move on and you had a problem, you approach it, you punch them in the head, and you move, you get back to being buddies.
Yeah, that's total boy thing. I get
I know,
that.
but that's what I'm
No, I
saying.
get it.
You're asking a question that I'm not experienced to, and I know kind of where you're heading now.
I don't think you do.
And
I don't even think you know this story.
Okay. But women are so much...
We're so different.
There's so much drama involved with everything. It's like drags
No.
on. And,
Okay. First, let me just ask this question.
yes.
Because you just threw me in the bucket of women, right?
You are.
I know I am, but you were using a broad generalization there. So do you think I'm a typical drama woman? If he says yes, I swear to God, I'm going to punch him in the head.
See? You're one of the dudes. No,
Exactly.
yeah, typical, no. But can you get drawn into it? Absolutely.
No, I don't think so at all.
Absolutely.
Especially.
I could talk about...
Talk about it.
No.
Oh my God. Okay.
Nope.
So the whole drama thing, I'm so over it, and I have been over it since I was like 30. I don't get involved. I know about, it's different about knowing about other people's dramas and
But
participating.
you're still involved with it. Yes.
No.
Okay, whoa.
Or participating in it.
I see where you're going
Totally
there.
different things.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it totally is.
I don't know. I mean, if you're
Just because I know about it doesn't
covering
mean
for
I'm
somebody
participating. Nope.
Well, yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
You're involved in the drama.
No, it doesn't. Okay.
I disagree.
Okay. Again, getting off topic. So I want to talk about specifically, I had to and this was, oh my God, I don't even know how long ago, 20 years ago or more. Actually, probably longer than that. I had a friend that was like one of my best friends. And
just, not that it matters, male or female?
Female.
Okay.
And I just couldn't. She had moved to a different state and the drama followed her, right? So the drama was all happening while we lived here in Illinois. And then she moved to another state and the drama followed. And it was just like every night I would get a phone call about something happening in this person's life. And it was never a, hey, how are you? Right? It was all about, oh my God, this is happening to me and this is happening to me and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and poor me, poor me, poor me. Right? And then it became, this person got married and then this person had an affair. And I was like, I don't
Why
need
are they
to
calling
know.
you on all that?
Right. I don't need to know the details. Just shut the hell up. And so finally I just had enough. Right. And we had been friends since high school. And I just had enough. And instead of being the adult and saying, okay, you know what? I can't do this anymore, which is what I should have done, by the way. I totally should have done I can't do this anymore. I can't deal with your drama. This is all self-created, right?
How were you going to help her anyway?
Well, because sometimes you just need somebody to listen to you, and I get that.
I get that. Yeah. Okay.
However, when you create your own drama all the time, and your whole world is drama, and I've grown up since high school, you know, you become an adult, you learn how to deal with things differently. And I just couldn't anymore. So instead of having the adult conversation and saying, I'm sorry, I can't deal with this anymore. I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Right.
And you do you, and I'm moving on with my life, which is truly what I should have done. But I was like 30, I think I was 30. I might have been 30, 31, early 30s. Instead, I just stopped answering the phone. And I was like, okay, I could, every night she would call. I just stopped answering.
Well, it's easier than if they're in your face or you see them every day. So it's
that is, yes, that's an easier way out. I'm not saying it's the responsible thing to do because it's absolutely not.
No, it is what it is. I guess I'm going to pose a question to you. What if they were 5 doors down from you and coming to your house
I would have
every day?
had to confront it.
Right. You have to do it then.
Yeah.
You kind of took a little easier road out.
Oh my God, I totally took the easy way out by just
I'm not
skating
blaming
the
you.
calls.
I'm like, I probably would do the same.
Well, it's okay. And that's fine. I'm accepting the responsibility on my part that, you know, now that I'm old, I'm 57.
Oh, yeah, so old.
I'm so old. You look back and you go, okay, that's probably not how I should have handled things, but it is how I knew how to handle things at that age. I'll just phrase it that way.
That's
right.
Yeah, this could, and you've said this a number of times on all of our podcasts. This could be another podcast, but I maturing with age gives you a different perspective on everything.
Oh my God.
And looking back at some of the things you did as a kid or reacted at, like just what you're talking about, you know, I would have reacted differently now.
Yeah.
You know, so many years later. And that's a huge difference.
Huge.
I mean, it's amazing just from my business perspective, my relationship.
Everything.
Everything has changed in the last 10 years, you know, from 50 to 60 for me. In the last 10 years of how you look at things and how you react to things and how you...
I mean, that's just a part of, I think, growing up and getting older, right? Yep. That's the wisdom that you gain, and I'm using the air quotes, but I don't mean it as air quotes, I guess. I mean it as you do gain wisdom as you get older. So
I'm not saying all of my decisions are wise, but yes.
Oh my God, me either. Actually, I'm talking about how fucking stupid I was.
Well, but like I'm still saying today. Yes, like today my decision wasn't wise, but I did it anyway.
Well, I'm talking about,
I hear you.
You know,
I know.
A long time ago. But anyway, so I stopped answering this person's phone calls. And then she lived in a certain state, so I knew the area code, right? So whenever I would get a call from that area code, I just wouldn't answer. So years went by, and then all of a sudden I got a call from that area code, and it just didn't even occur to me.
Right.
Like anything was up.
Forgot you.
It was like 5, 6 years. Yeah. No. I just thought this certainly can't be this person, you know? And I pick up the phone and it is this person. And she's talking about how, and this is years later, you guys, I need you to understand this, years later, after I've not spoken to this person for at least 5 years. And I get the phone call from the hospital that she's just delivered a baby that passed away because it was very premature. And she's hysterical and she's crying. And how could I not be there for her?
What?
And right? I'm like, what?
That's her call is to you?
Yes. How
hell.
dare I? How can I not be there for her through this thing?
Yeah.
And
how did I even know you were going through anything?
Right. Well, because she kept calling, but I wouldn't answer.
Yeah. But
so
I'm assuming she didn't leave a message.
No, never. No. So it was just a thing. And then, you know, I was trying to console her and say, you know, I'm so very sorry. I'm sorry this happened to her.
Yeah, to anybody.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm so sorry. I genuinely am sorry.
Catholic guilt kick in here?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Total Catholic guilt. But I'm so sorry this has happened. You know, I don't know what I can do for you from here.
Yeah, what did you want?
You know, we ended the phone call, and then I get texts. I'm not even joking. She's sending me pictures of the baby that passed away.
Get out of here.
I swear to God.
What the
fuck? Who does that?
Yeah.
She's sending me pictures of her fetus, basically.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I look at the pictures, I delete the pictures, and I go, and this is exactly why I can't deal with you.
Yeah.
Right? I just can't.
It's got...
Who does that? So
don't know.
Obviously this particular thing has never happened to you, but you've never had like a guy friendship that ended that you were like, that like ended badly or whatever. Because this wasn't obviously it wasn't a good ending. And I've not spoken to this person since, by the way.
Yeah, I can't. I love when you pop these things on because I have no time to think about anything.
I don't prepare him for anything, you guys.
Nothing comes up to my head immediately that said, oh, you know, this guy was a complete moron and I need to jump away from him fast. And
what about like a business relationship? Anything?
Well, business is business. That's a whole nother line.
Okay.
Those lines you don't cross, right? Relationships and business are business. Whether you like them or not, you pretty much have to keep them and maneuver those in the way that they position themselves. Personal relationships are different, right? So you either want to be with somebody or you don't. And I think for me, I've never been the guy that had 1,000 friends, right? I've been pretty...
You have a
very tight-knit group.
Yeah.
And they've always been there.
Yeah. Good,
bad, indifferent. I mean, we've had our problems. We've yelled at each other. We've, hit each other in the head. And but when we get together, it's like
Nothing ever happened.
40 years ago, it's the same relationship we had.
Yeah.
And that's my knit group. And you know that. I'm very tight with that.
Yeah, I just didn't know if there was any, like, maybe there's people that I didn't know about.
No.
You know what I mean?
Not really.
I don't, okay.
If you didn't know about them, I totally forgot them. So
I was just curious.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to me because I have had friendships end, I guess, badly, 2 different ways. Like that specific way that I just talked about.
Right. And
then there was another friend of mine that we were best friends since our mothers. We moved into the same subdivision on the same day in first grade. It was like the summer before first grade, and it was the dead of winter. And her mother and my mother shoved us into the middle of the court and was like, "Go make friends." Right.
Yeah.
And we were best friends.
There you go.
Since from that point on until high school. And we went to 2 different high schools. I went to Hoffman. She went to Conant. We were best friends forever. And then she went away to college and I didn't go to college right away. So I was doing the whole Harper. I was doing junior college and working.
In career, yep.
And she was at University of Wisconsin, Madison, ironically enough, which is where I went to school later. But she was there, and we almost instantly lost touch. And then when she reached out to me, I think it was maybe her sophomore or junior year of college at that point, she reached out to me one drunken night and came out to me as being gay, which completely shocked me, but I didn't care.
No.
I was super surprised. And because, by the way, she stole every boyfriend that I ever had. But literally, they loved her more than they loved me. It was just a thing back in the day. Right. And then she came out as gay and I was like, what? Oh, okay, whatever. I took a half a second and I was like, okay, great. Okay. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you happy, you know?
Right.
But then we completely lost touch after that. Even though I was very supportive. Never, ever, ever heard from her again, which I find just so bizarre. And you've got nothing. I don't. I'm staring at a blank wall right now because he's like, I have nothing to share.
I'm thinking about my best friends, and they're all from 2nd, 3rd grade and
right.
On. I didn't go to I went to high school. I didn't go to college, so I
didn't go to high school.
I didn't go to high school or college. I dropped out in 7th grade. No, so I didn't go to college, and I think that's where most people's best friends come from because you're living together.
Right.
You're not only learning together, you're living together.
Yeah.
You're figuring shit out as you go. And that's where a lot of friends are really developed. My friendships were developed many, many moons ago in
elementary school.
Yeah. And I still have those friendships. I've got 5 or 7 guys I can talk to.
He does this all the time. It's never 5 or 6. He jumps 5 or 7, 8 or 10.
5 or 6.
It's I'm
5
sorry.
or 6 is too close. So you got to go. You got to have a bit of a spread. I mean, one person doesn't matter, but 2 people make a difference.
Okay. All right.
Now I'm going to think about that every time I say that. So I have 8 or 9 people that I've been very good friends with since 2nd grade, and we're still friends.
Yeah.
And that's
amazing.
Now 50-something
As
years.
do I, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I still have friends from
I think
elementary
that's
school.
a big difference in our age groups, that we have that history where I think a lot of people now, you might be moving from school to school, or you're doing different things.
I moved from school to school.
Yeah, but you still hold on to the relationships.
That's amazing, though, especially for somebody who moved around as much as my family did.
And I mean, I don't know. I don't see it. I mean, I talk to a lot of people that are younger than me, buyers and people that I relate to and people I'm working with, and they're like, yeah, I've got 10-year-old friends or 12-year-old friends. I'm like, you don't have anybody
He
that goes back to 30-year-old?
He means the years of their friendship,
Yes.
not the age of the friend. just for the record.
I didn't even go there. I wasn't going there. Okay.
I'm just clarifying.
No, good clarification. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Because that is very important.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see that anymore, right? I mean, it's like you don't see people that are
friends forever.
Friends forever, working at one place forever. Everybody's jumping. Everybody's moving.
Yeah, there is.
Things are faster.
I would say for sure that's
maybe I'm just
that's a thing for working as well. Like when I worked at Chicom and Motorola, which was, Chicom was a subsidiary of Motorola. Mm-hmm. I was the baby of the company when I left after being there 9.5 years. I was still the baby of the company. Yeah. And when I left, everybody was like, what are you doing? Like everybody worked there 20, 30, 40 years. Yeah. And I was like, I was young and I thought I knew better. Oh. But you don't see, you're right. You don't see that anymore. You don't see people.
Everybody moves for their best interest.
Well, and that's okay.
But sometimes not okay. You've got to look at all you got to look at every picture.
You do. You have to see both sides of the picture. Yeah. And you don't do that when you're young. You just don't. Now.
I feel like I did. Career-wise.
You did?
Career-wise, I did.
Well, because you're so centered with your career. And you always have been. Like, I feel like, I mean, I've only known you for 15 years, but knowing you and knowing the stories that you've shared, excuse me, I have the hiccups all of a sudden. Yes, I've been drinking. I'm sorry. I'm not drunk, but I have been drinking.
Been a day.
Yes, I agree that I feel like you're very centered in your career and you've always known what you wanted. And you learned that from service merchandise. Hashtag service merchandise. Nobody knows who that is anymore. Unless you're over 50.
That's so sad.
But it's true.
No, you're right. But I will correct you on one thing. I never knew what I wanted to do.
It just kind of
fell into that early. When I was 16, I worked for them as a clerk.
Yeah.
Things worked out. I love the way they taught me. I love the way I got up in the business quick and promoted quickly. And
I got up in their
business. Maybe we should cut this whole damn thing.
No, we're not going to cut it. I just found that hilarious.
Yeah, I felt like that was my school.
Right.
Yeah. I got trained in a lot of things there.
Yeah.
And if people that worked for service didn't pick this up, then too bad for them. But there were a lot of people at a lot of stores that worked there forever.
Yeah.
And promoted.
Right.
Learn, and when you get to a position of, a store manager or, let's take it beyond just service, you get to a position of a VP, or you have to understand every level underneath you. And if you can't appreciate it or you haven't been working it, it doesn't mean as much to people. And they look at you like, oh, you just walked in and they paid you X amount of dollars to be my manager.
Right.
And it's like, you don't know what I do.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes.
I do know what you do.
Because I did what you did.
Right.
I did what you're doing.
And that doesn't happen these days, I will say.
Not at all. I don't think.
I mean, I'm sure it does on occasion, but it used to be the way.
Yes.
Right? And it just doesn't doesn't happen anymore.
Agree.
Yeah. I will say when I had been laid off from OAG because of 9/11, which I wasn't laid off until I think 2003. I survived like
the last of the layoffs.
Yeah. I think I was the last layoff. Yeah. Because every layoff before then it was, oh, Cheri, you're now, you do marketing and you do training.
Yeah.
and you do this and you do this. So I think
pick up another job.
Yeah. I think it was like 8 or 9 layoffs that I survived. Anyway, my point is when I left and I tried to find work after that, I think the whole business world was kind of turned upside down, and all the hiring managers wanted. They didn't want experience anymore. They just wanted the degree.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Right.
So I would go in, and I can't even tell you how many times I would go in for 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 interviews and get told at the end of the, process, we love you so much, but you don't have the degree we're looking for. So we're moving on with somebody else. I'm like, what the? Like, I have all this experience. And I think that's kind of when that switch happened.
Yeah.
And the world, for me, turned upside down.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? Like, yes, I went to school. I went for veterinary medicine. I didn't go for business. And then I think everybody knows the story of, I'm not even going to get into it because it's way too long, but maybe that's the next podcast as we talk about kind of how we got to where we are. I think that's a great subject for the next podcast.
That'd be a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, be a great one.
Yeah, it would. So we'll talk about that next. But my point is that's kind of when things switched. And I thought to myself, oh, I am in big trouble here. And I had to start from scratch, basically, because I was making almost 6 figures before I was laid off. And then when I accepted another job, I made $40,000 when I took that job. I want to just reiterate this, $40,000 after making almost 6 figures. And it took me 18 months to find that job. It's crazy.
I've got the same story as you know.
I know.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that next time.
Cool.
Okay. So I don't know how we got from...
Me neither.
From relationships to friendship relationships to this, but that's where we ended. So I'm going to end it here.
I know how we got there.
I do. It's totally my fault.
Well, your fault and a couple of cocktails. We have been relaxing today after our whole Rib Fest.
Oh my God.
Fiasco, which was fantastic.
It wasn't a fiasco.
But no, I'm not. I don't mean fiasco, but it was
stressful. It was a
lot of stress for us, and we were not. I mean, I had fun too, but today was our day. We cleaned
unwound.
Up. We did everything, and now we just relaxed and had a couple of drinks. It's been really beautiful.
It's been a beautiful day.
That's why.
And we're ending
Cheri
it.
Called me Calvin, or
I called you Caven.
Caven, or whatever the hell it was.
Which is the second week in a row. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I do know his name is Caven. No, I'm kidding. I do know his name is Kevin.
It is?
It is. I love you very much. Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you want to comment on this or any other show, you know how to do it. You can reach out to us on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and our website, lifewithasherryontop.com. Or you can reach out to me via email, lifewithasherryontop@gmail.com. Thank you, Maya. We love you. Oh, and I do want to give Maya an extra special shout out.
Yes.
She came to RibFest, and I want to point out, Maya came from Arizona.
Yes.
To come to our RibFest party.
Which is great. And we do have some travelers.
We do have travelers.
My brothers make an effort every year.
Yeah.
Maya's always great at making an effort to come see us, and
it was just so nice, you guys.
Their family from, I mean, there's a lot of people that come to do this. It's
from out of town,
which creates more pressure. But it's a whole other story. You're signing off.
I'm signing off.
Love you,
Maya. Okay, bye guys. We'll talk to you next week. See ya. Bye bye.